Holy cow, it is May. I don't even know. I don't even know how we got here, if I'm being honest. I feel like April went so fast. So now we're looking at the week of April 4th. May the 4th be with you for all my fellow Star Wars peeps, through May 10th. Okay? So this feels like it's going to be a I mean, they all feel like great weeks, right? But we've got like our highs and our downs within the week. Um, but this one feels like it might be like a body week. And I really feel like I was getting a lot of energy around the body, right? And maybe it will just be like that for the month because I also got in my monthly energetic read. If you're part of the Inner Flame newsletter, I send out like a monthly um, energetics and flower magic for the month and a couple of other things. But anyway, the card in that was the Two of Pentacles, which is like really, Pentacles is really a lot with the body, right? And like materials and earth, um, money, balance. Two of Pentacles is really about balance, but Pentacles itself is really like a body card, even. So keep that in mind, right? As like we move through the whole month. But at the beginning of the month, we're kind of starting with this like you are a multifaceted being and there's a unique nature to you as an individual and really letting yourself be seen. With that being said, right, like really understanding that you are multifaceted and where are you maybe not like I feel like so often, like work, and not even work. It's like sometimes, like if you're a mother, your identity becomes being a mother. If you, have a really important job, like your identity becomes your job, right? Like you forget that there's other aspects of you, right? And so this week is really reminding us that we are multifaceted. As some kind of reminder comes up on my computer, you are multifaceted, right? Really letting yourself be seen. But there's this trust that has to go with that, right? Like this allowing of the multifacetedness, right? Like sometimes it's only safe for us to be like, I'm a hairstylist, or oh, I work for a bank, oh, I do stock market exchange. Like we keep these other parts of ourselves very invisible. And I think there's a trust there, right? Like we have to develop an inner trust to really allow these different parts of us, like okay, I do stock market, but I also like I on the side I am a master ceramic person. Like I have my stuff all over the place. Like who knows? I mean, some of you are probably saying like, well, if you're in the stock market, you definitely don't have time for that. But what if you do, right? You get what I'm saying. And I feel like this has a lot to do around our health, okay? And there's going to be like a lot of clarity this week. But this might show up as like realizations about who you are or who you are not, right? Questioning your identity. Is there more to me? And maybe feeling like something is shifting, okay? And I'll get into that in a little bit when I talk about later in the week, but I have like a story that I want to share. But I feel like our health is somehow connected to this because where are we not accepting our multifaceted reality of self? And where is that maybe affecting our health, right? I mean, you think about that in the way of like life force energy and like where are we maybe capping that life force energy from flowing by saying like, oh, this is only what I do or this is the only part of myself I'm willing to share. And I feel like there's parts of us who are like, or people, who are out there who are like, I've got to fix this, or I've got to fix this, or I need more information to fix this part of myself. And what if you're not actually broken at all? But what if your health, right, is in correlation with you not being fully accepting yourself yet? Okay, so that might come up in the first half of the week. Seeing where you're multifaceted or seeing where you're not allowing yourself to be multifaceted and having this unique nature, and how does that show up in your life, or how do you give it, what do I want to say, like pathways or avenues to develop in your life, okay? Then we get into like the middle of the week and we're looking at spontaneous activation, awakening, integration. And this feels, again, like this could trigger a lot in the body, okay? We might feel some things in the physical realm of these things turning on, tapping, tapping. What is it? Turning on, tapping in, tuning in. Esther Hicks always says, like, turn on. Shoot, I can't think of it right now, but it's like tuning in, tapping on. Anyway, I digress. Excuse me. There's going to be this activation. And I think with what we are going through in the beginning of the week of like really being able to see like, okay, where am I multifaceted? Where am I not allowing myself to be multifaceted? And having these awakenings, right? The spontaneous activation of clarity and integration. And sometimes this happens where we're not even like fully consciously aware of it, right? Like we sense something's going on, but we don't have words to really explain it, describe it. This is where we want to start maybe building our confidence, right? So like this spontaneous activation, integration will happen through the lens of joy. But we also have to build our confidence in doing said things of joy, okay? So this feels like it might show up as like sudden insights, emotional releases. I have a wonderful client who is really struggling. There was a story that was coming up for her of it wasn't safe for her to know her interests. And so now, way into her life, she's like, I don't know what makes me happy. I don't even know what I like. And I don't even know what brings me joy. And that story there is, it wasn't safe for me to figure it out, right? It was never allowed to be about me or figuring out what I liked. I had to do or perform, for everybody else. And I think there's this connection here where it's like, okay, we want to build confidence in this space. Like you might not know what you want to do, right? But like you might have that spontaneous awakening or this integration through finding out what you do like, right? Like it's so dark over here. There's like, my light is right here and it's like so dark. Maybe it won't look like that, but right now it looks really dark, even with my light on. So I feel like, and the whole thing was, okay, well, are we going to keep going with that story of it's not safe, or are we going to choose to rewrite the story? And that is also where you're going to feel it in the body, right? Like I'm a multifaceted being and I want to try different things, but it also doesn't feel safe for me. So I might feel like I might start feeling pain in my body, or my shoulders going up to my ears, or my stomach feeling upset, or my throat feeling like it wants to close off, right? Like there might be like a whole lot of sensations that you feel from just trying to find out who you are. And I feel like what is coming through right now too is like, let this be imperfect, right? Like you don't have to have everything be perfect. And sometimes finding joy is a journey in itself. Like you try watercoloring and you're like, I've always wanted to watercolor. And then you're like, fuck that, I hate watercoloring, Well, now you know, right? And then you go try something else. Like let it be an exploration, right? Like let this spontaneous activation happen for you, right? And this is going to build confidence because you're going to be like, well, now I know I don't like that, but this is what I do like, allowing yourself to really build in the confidence of knowing who you are through the lens of joy, okay? And I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. I think the biggest thing here too is like with that story that comes through where it's like it's not safe for me to know what I want, or I was never allowed to know what I want, or I had to follow through the lens of what my parents always wanted for me, whatever the story is, right? It's really coming back to choosing to believe in yourself. And there's choices, right? Are we going to keep engaging with the story that's holding us back, or are we going to, even though it might not be easy, right? Even though it might be like, oh God, like I want this, but I'm so uncomfortable to try to get this. Are we going to participate in a new story, right? That might start out like uncomfortable at first, but as we build in that confidence, right? Not only do we find more joy, our health might change, and we start trusting ourselves more. And there was like this other story. Where did I think I wrote it down. There's this other story of my friend talking about how there are things that we want. Maybe I didn't write it down. There are things that we want, and they are so close. They are so close, right? Like, I mean, I just had a situation where it's like, oh, I want this so bad. And it was so close, but I like literally could not get out of my own way to receive that blessing, right? So again, it's this choosing, right? Are we going to allow ourselves to tell a different story, even though it's like, it might be really uncomfortable at first? Then we get into the end of the week, okay? And this is like soul gifts, training. It's time to set up or step up. And this is through authority. This is like knowing who you are, knowing what you bring to the table, right? And like building in that confidence. This is through the lens of your compass and prosperity, but we might touch on that because I feel like there's like, it's a thread that goes through everything, okay? But your compass is to know that you are not going to be the same as anybody else, right? Your soul gifts and your training and you being able to step up is not going to look the same as anybody else's. It is, I just read like a little article on success today, and they were talking about how, we always compare ourselves oranges to oranges, but what if I'm an apple and that person is an orange, right? What if they don't have the same stories that I have? Maybe they had more connections growing up. Maybe they had more opportunities than I had, right? Like, and that doesn't mean they're better than me. It just means they have a different story, right? They got to their path differently than I did. And that doesn't make me less valuable or more valuable. I'm just valuable because I'm in existence and I'm living my own perspective of reality, right? So this is really reminding you, like, you have things that you're here to do that probably are going to turn on in this week, right? Like that soul awakening and it might be one small thing, like this little ping that you get, like, ooh, I want to try this. And I think that's the other thing is stop looking at these pings as a place for making money. I feel like this is also reminding you that your existence and finding joy is just to feel joy, right? And love. But you need to have authority around this. And I want to like read in this book because I feel like maybe there's another message in this for this card specifically. Okay, so it's saying you possess an inner truth detector telling you that people in power often abuse such authority. So we might see that. We might even see that on the main stage, right? The external. We might see how this feels like authority is kind of maybe controlling us in a way that doesn't feel good. Okay? So your role in the world is to help redesign our planet and society to become a place of fairness. When dealing with authority figures, please know that anger will not get you anywhere, but calm assertiveness will definitely will. So this feels like saying it's time for you to step up in what you are here to do, or what your callings are with authority, right? Don't let these other outside or external things, or what people are saying, or even what you yourself are saying, do not let those things affect you, right? Like, you are here to bring your multifaceted piece to the world, right? And it might feel like the authority, right? The external is like, no, we don't want that, but that's not true. And even though that's one lens, I feel like the authority is also coming from a personal space. Like, we need to have our own authority in how we want to live our lives, right? And what we're doing, and follow our own compass. Our compass, this is saying when you go down a road that's dark and doesn't feel right, your compass is the one telling you to turn around. You're being asked to remember this and dust this tool off and use it. Your compass will always guide you to your highest purpose. Your compass, if you want to call it your compass, fine. If you want to call it your higher self, fine. The point is using your compass and using your authority to know that you have a soul gift is really important during this time, right? Especially during this week. It's like asking us to, look at our lives. I feel like this also is saying, like, take a break from content. Take a break from, like, constantly consuming, so that you can actually check in with what's going on with you, right? This is like, and a lot of people will say, I don't know, which is fine. Like, on the surface, you might not know, but are you willing to maybe, like, journal? Like, what is a soul gift? What feels like it's calling and I'm not listening to it? Maybe I've been called to be like an artist, and I've never given myself an opportunity to explore that, right? And how can I find that and create that through the lens of joy, just creation and not perfection, okay? Then we do have this little bit of tie, which might be, the whole month, but I really feel like there's this money prosperity energy. And this is not going to be like money's going to magically appear, but this is very much like how you relate to receiving and using energy, okay? So this week too is like looking at where you're overgiving, where are you holding yourself back, where don't you trust yourself, where do you spend from emotion instead of intention? And that feels like such a big one for me, is like, where are you spending, right? Reacting. Where are you having transactions out of anger or emotion, rather than what is my intention here when I am moving, speaking, creating? And I feel like when we get more into that space, right, when we allow ourselves to understand that money is really an energy, and that's such a weird, it's such a sensitive topic right now, because like money feels very tight for many of us, but when we can kind of shift to this energy of like, whoa, how do I see this, and what threads are connected to this in my life, I think we'll start to see more and more unlock for us. But anyway, that is like a little bit tied in for this week. So we've got this beautiful week where it's like, okay, where am I not allowing myself to be multifaceted? Where am I multifaceted? Maybe this is time to like celebrate yourself, right? Am I trusting myself? I feel like you might have this feeling of like, maybe I'm not taking life for fully what it is, and I'm being asked to like, go for it, right? Believe in yourself, right? Stop telling the same old story. And like, this could feel like, oh, I've got to change my whole entire life. And maybe for some, that is the message, right? Maybe it is like, jump off the ledge and just trust the process and trust yourself. But others, it could be something very small as like sending an email, right? Or allowing yourself to say, I'm going to take a personal day and I'm going to do something for myself in a joyful way. And maybe you'll like find that activation of like how you want to have your week work, right? It could be very big if you want it to be, but it could be very like detail oriented in how you want to see your week unfold, right? And where can you have authority in your gifts of what you bring to this world? And what does that mean to you? Because I feel like when we hear soul gifts and training, it's time to step up. Or like, I mean, and that is a portal to walk through, but like, where is something in a grounded way, right? Like, what are your soul gifts that you're maybe denying? Am I really good with working with my kids? Am I really good at creating and helping people see ideas and creating clarity? Like, what is it? What are these soul gifts? Am I really good with numbers? And I've never really allowed myself to see where I could go with that, right? Like understanding that that's your authority and trusting your compass to get you there. So when I say these things, like they can be very big and like kind of vague, but it's like really being able to take it down and be like, well, what is my soul gift? Like, what is something that I'm good at or that I want to even, explore? So may the 4th be with you. It's definitely a good day for a Star Wars binge. I hope you have a wonderful week. This week feels really good. It feels actually really grounded in a way, even if it didn't come off that way. But I feel like these are beautiful. It's a beautiful week to really explore you, like what do you like? What do you want? Where are you not, applying the self authority? I think it's going to be a beautiful week. So let me know in the comments. There are also the self-reflection questions, prompts in my Substack that you can absolutely like scroll down and just journal. You don't have to even do all of them. Pick one that maybe sticks out and it's like, I really want to explore this, and let yourself explore that. Or just read the question, maybe put it on a Post-it and like put it on your mirror and allow the answers like over time to kind of just bubble to the surface, Nothing has to be done where it's like, I need the answer right now. You might be by the end of the month and find clarity around this first week in May. So just allow it to be your own journey. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I would love to hear how you're feeling.